Hello, everyone. Welcome to Riga, Latvia. It's week number 2 on the ISU Junior Grand Prix. It's day number 2. It's the final event, the women's free program. Mark?
Yes, medals will be decided for the first time in Riga in this competition. And we have Mai Okada, the winner last year, in first place after the short program, attempting to defend the title that she won a year ago. But what I think is also really interesting is that in the top group after the short program, of the 6 skaters in that final flight, 5 of them they've come from 5 different skating nations, and that's not something that we have seen regularly or repeatedly in the women's event over the past few seasons. And it's wonderful dancing and
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Riga, Latvia. Week number 2. It is day number 2 of competition. Yesterday, we started with the women's, onto the pairs, and the men's short program. But today, it is the rhythm dance. I'm Ted Barton, along with Mark Hanratty. Mark, let's talk a little bit about dance. It's dance day here.
Dance day here. And last week we saw some wonderful dancing in Xi'an with Fefilova and Valov winning the title there on the first stage of the Junior Grand Prix. At this event, I think there's maybe a team that are quite close to us now that may be the favourites, and I think we're making their social media content now. Daniel Moaden and Theo Bijot looking strong, potentially to take the title here. They were 5th at the Junior World Championships last season. I think they're the front runners, but outside of them, a host of contenders, and as you mentioned, a very open field.
It's an open field. There are 17 teams from 12 nations. The rhythm dance
starts right now.
Good job.
Thank you.
Check. But how will I know? Hello, everyone. Welcome to day number 2 here in Riga, Latvia. I'm Ted Barton alongside Mark Hanratty. The rhythm dance coming up in just a few moments, Mark. We talked a little bit about that in the opening. We have 4 groups. How many are they allowed on each warm-up session?
So
because it's always dangerous in ice dance.
Ice dance warm-ups are notoriously daunting, and 5 teams are the maximum number of skaters that you can have on a warm-up group in an ice dance event. We can have 4 pair teams, 5 ice dance teams, although many may say that perhaps that 1 extra ice dance team is a risky business when it comes to managing the geography of the ice surface. Although, that said, it's looking pretty comfortable out there now as the teams work through and warming up for their rhythm and waltz rhythm dance. The requirements for this season are rhythm and waltz.
Now, I have a question for you. Why is this the most dangerous warm-up session?
The number of bodies, of course, is the most of any, as we see the Ukrainian and British teams coming close. The most number of bodies on the ice, so we have 10 skaters on the ice, 6 in singles, men and women, and 8 in the pairs. But also with the ice dancers, they don't always take the same kind of conventional trajectory. We can't assume the pattern that the teams take. As we look now, Annabelle Mann and Jack Hammond, they're working through their non-touch step sequence, so that will have a fairly assumed trajectory, but you can see with the teams, they're making different curves, making different lobes and patterns on the ice, so it's hard to predict exactly which direction that they will go in. And that's the same for most of the ice dance elements and transitions, which takes me to an interesting point this season that is unlike any other previous season. There are no pattern restrictions in the rhythm dance. Normally there's to be an expected continuous direction around the rink. That isn't the case this season. So that makes it potentially all the more difficult to navigate an ice surface as skaters skate clockwise, anti-clockwise, deep edges, shallow edges, all over the place.
And let's also talk a little bit about the rhythm, the Westminster Waltz, but we didn't hear traditional music last week in Xi'an.
No, it was fascinating to see the different approaches from the various teams in Xi'an. We had so many different interpretations, and it was really impressive to see. It was almost as if some of the coaches had communicated to ensure that there was not too much doubling up.
Yeah.
Previously, over the past few seasons, it's been an inevitability that there would become very popular tracks that would be not overused, but repeatedly used, and that didn't seem the case. I shouldn't perhaps speak too soon on the second stage of the Junior Grand Prix.
But it used to be a certain, a rhythm that if the music was not matching the beats of or matching that rhythm, it would be a deduction. But this is the Westminster Waltz, and the music is quite different. And so how is that getting, is there a rule similar to that if it's not a certain amount of beats per...
Yeah, exactly. So for the junior teams, not for the senior teams, but for these junior teams, they must perform a Westminster Waltz. One sequence of the Westminster Waltz. Good connection there between the teams. And within that, what must happen is there must be a constant tempo of the music, and there must be a minimum of 54 3-beat measures of music. So basically 162 beats per minute in 3, 4, or 6, 8 time. Now, I know that sounds wordy and lengthy, but the timing has to be akin to what was performed or used in the Westminster Waltz when it was a compulsory dance. And last week, for those that were watching last week, we're acknowledging that this Westminster Waltz, the steps that all of the 17 teams must do, and I think we're about to be treated to some. There we go. Start of the Westminster Waltz is formerly known as a compulsory dance or a pattern dance that was created back in the 1930s in the Westminster Ice Rink in London. And so that tempo was defined back then, and that's one of the few stipulations that the teams have to have. The tempo, but the stylization is a little bit more open.
Okay, now that we have put all the technical information out there and confused everyone.
Yes.
Me. Right? No, it's all good. It's good to have the clarification for that, because traditionally you're looking for a certain type or piece of music, and we saw some great variety, last week, which is good. You really need to have that. So we get started on day number 2, the rhythm dance, coming up right now. We have 17 teams, 4 groups. Our first team represents Ukraine, Veronika Kuchkova and Denis Fedyakin, 16 and 17 years of age. This is their first Junior Grand Prix event. They are coached by Svetlana Chernikova.
And a relatively new team, teaming up in summer of 2025, but skaters that have been skating since they were 3 and 4 years old. Just checking now. Just Veronika and Dennis just heading back to their coaches. And there we have the ISU event team just assessing what's going on. Not sure what happened there, Ted. I don't know if I missed something there. But it's a big responsibility for Veronika and Dennis to not just open this event, but of course now contend with whatever is happening as they await their introduction to the ice surface. And
it's one of the learning phases, if you will, of the juniors and even seniors. So unexpected changes of event. Things have fallen off the roof before in the middle of the program. They've lost their lights. That's happened before.
I even, thinking of the things you cannot prepare for. I remember famed skater Michelle Kwan, there was a streaker on the ice at a World Championships.
I was there.
Yeah.
I was there.
So you can't predict, even as a senior, what to contend with.
I don't know if it was a streaker, but it was somebody running across the ice. I couldn't remember, but that was fairly disturbing. Then there was a political protest as well at the European Championships.
Wow.
Yeah.
So for now, Veronika and Dennis, as I mentioned, a team, just over 12 months of their partnership. This experience, another bonding experience for the two, because what's about to undertake for this team, competing, representing your country in an international competition, it's such a unique remit for two people to share. And then when you add further, increased stressful experiences on top, it only cements the partnership in
It
many
does.
ways, grows
And
more roots.
this goes into the wallet, into the pocket of experiences that will not be a shock as they move forward, because this will happen at some point, or something like this, some sort of a delay which is unexpected. It doesn't happen often, but when it does happen, you need to be able to adapt on the site. We saw Wieland there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wieland has come out. That means it's super serious. Opportunity for us to acknowledge the events team. And
Yeah,
Wieland,
really.
just an amazing commitment to this sport.
It is remarkable to know, and as we do, what goes behind this, what goes behind the scene, and the amount of people that both volunteers, but the staff that constantly and consistently deliver ISU events, juniors and seniors, and Grand Prix and World Championships for the ISU. They're invisible and they're silent for the most part. But the work that they do, they're here at 5 in the morning and they leave at 10, 11 o'clock at night, and then they travel. It is remarkable what they do. And the ISU is very, very lucky and very good for having hired such competent, consistent people who understand the sport, the athletes, the coaches, the fans, everyone. So we thank them for all the time that they do, that they have spent, not just this year, but for years in advance of this.
Yeah, and I think I've mentioned before in our Junior Grand Prix broadcast that one of the great privileges that I feel able to discuss now is by being on the Junior Grand Prix and in venue and seeing what happens behind the scenes. You know, we can give those shout outs. I don't know if Wieland himself would want us to acknowledge it, but he, a former successful elite level skater, that's got a family and young twins, and yet we see him consistently traveling around the world to support the ice skating events. And these events, you know, would not run nearly as well, if at all, without the expertise of these people.
Yeah.
And, you know, knowing them as humans makes me all the more grateful for their life commitment.
They have it scheduled now. He'll do a couple weeks, then he'll have some time off doing something other project. They'll send other people in. So they've really got it well organized to make sure that these events are pulled off under any circumstance with experienced people. So, and we've been a lot to these venues for a number of years, so we kind of know the setup, and they know the setup even better. So,
and that is one thing that we can acknowledge also about this venue, the Volvo Sports Centre in Riga. And I feel like it's almost a rite of passage. There are some ice rinks that internationally competitive skaters all, you know, find themselves competing at, Oberstdorf, of course, being one. But the Volvo Sports Centre has hosted the Volvo Cup and many international events. And so it's just a kind of commonplace eventuality that people will skate here.
I can see the team is, you know, nice and loose, and the moment is when they're called and when things get straightened out. Now they got to compete. They relax now, which is exactly where they want to be, just keeping themselves calm, just going around the ice. And when, okay, let's get going, all of a sudden, boom, they tighten up a little bit and have to get ready in short order.
I'm not quite sure, Ted, and I'll try and find out what's happening, but you could consider for Veronica and Dennis perhaps to work through some of the elements that are happening in their rhythm dance. So for the juniors, they will have a step sequence, a non-touch step sequence. They will have sequential twizzles. There will be a lift. And, of course, there will be the Westminster Waltz sections. In situations such as this, there will be a stopwatch by the referee, and there will be implications for what will take place dependent upon how long this interruption is. So hopefully things will resume shortly, but if things continue for over a certain period of time, then a whole other warm-up.
Then another warm-up, yeah, absolutely. So there are rules to cope with and handle all these types of situations, and people are, you know, well under control with what to apply. Of course, we're here in our broadcast booth waiting to see what happens because we don't know what has happened. We're not sure.
And there are other people, of course. We see Veronica and Dennis anxiously waiting. There are other people just to the side of the rink. You may see the referee for this event, Ronald Bowe. He will be, you know, very conscious of timekeeping.
Yeah.
As everybody awaits to find more information.
Now, while we've got this time, you can ask our viewers around the world to send their questions.
Indeed, we would be delighted to hear from you. And obviously, this is the start of the ice dance competition, so hopefully the International Skating Union will post on their socials a chat box for which you can send any questions in. I know yesterday there were some requests for where do we send the questions, as now things appear to be moving along as Veronica and Dennis take off their Ukrainian jackets, getting ready hopefully to be introduced to the arena. And they're in the good hands of Svetlana Chernikova, who was on screen. She was an Olympian herself. She was 19th at the Lillehammer Olympics in 1994, so she's probably had many an experience herself to contend with to help her students appreciate this moment.
Here we go.
And so finally, opening the ice dance rhythm dance in the second Junior Grand Prix of the series. Veronika Krychkova, Denis Fedinkin, the bronze medalists at the Ukrainian Junior Championships.
We're clear.
Lord, oh. Ah.
Turn the music up a little bit louder. Just gotta get past the midnight hour. Maybe tomorrow it won't be this hard. Who am I kidding? I know what I'm missing. I had my heart set on you, but nothing else hurts like you do. Who knew that love was so cruel? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I waited so long for someone who'll never come home. It's my fault to think you'll be true. Yeah, yeah. I'm just a fool holding on to something that's never ever gonna come back. I can't accept that it's lost. I should have let it go, held my tongue, kept my big mouth shut. 'Cause now everything is just wrong, wrong, wrong. I'm just a fool. You wanna know how to make me smile? Take control on me just for the night. And if I share my secret, you're gonna have to keep it. Nobody else can see this. So watch and learn. I won't show you twice. Head to toe, ooh, baby, run it right. And if I share my secret, you're gonna have to keep it. Nobody else can see this. And it goes like this. Tell me about the tongue and I know you. Kiss me till you're drunk and I'll show you all the moves like Jagger. I've got the moves like Jagger. I've got the moves like Jagger. I don't need to try to control you. Look into my eyes and I'll own you. The moves like Jagger. I've got the moves like Jagger. I've got the moves like Jagger.
Performance, a team that have competed once internationally at the Edge Cup, but this a bigger stage for them, and they conduct themselves admirably in light of the odd start to the event whereby they were having to wait their turn to compete. And this team used to resilience. They explained to me that daily training is affected by sirens and the aftermath of situations in their country, sleepless nights and power outages in their rank. They said that that's just part of their daily routine. So nothing but huge respect for the way in which they're managing to prepare for this event. And now they will have the opportunity to get the feedback from an illustrious, highly qualified technical panel to assess the 5 elements in the rhythm dance. Looking back now at the difficult entry into their rotational lift. And there you see one of the features, the 1-foot rotations from Denis to secure that level 4, and it's given base value, so not deemed to be negatively executed nor positively. perfectly acceptable as we work through the twizzles. And there, the right forward outside, the clockwise direction rotation, notoriously more nerve-wracking and anxiety-inducing for the teams who conventionally or regularly, most skaters will rotate in an anti-clockwise direction more comfortably. Here, a chance to look through their non-touch step sequence. The effort is to stay as close as possible, whilst of course not touching, as is the requirement of the name of the element. There, Svetlana Chernikova with them in the kiss and cry as they shape arts.
Well, the first team out, they had the big delay, and now they've finished their skate. We'll take a look at the rhythm dance scores, 32.51 for Veronica and Dennis. And that will put them, of course, into first place, being the first team. Well, new experience. Our next team represents Great Britain, 17-year-old Annabelle Mann, 18-year-old Jack Hammond. This is their second Junior Grand Prix season, moving from novice to junior after the 2024 season. They're coached and choreographed by Lloyd Jones.
Annabelle and Jack skating to It's a Man's World.
But it wouldn't mean nothing, not one little thing, without a woman or a girl. Oh. The world would mean nothing without a woman or a girl. Oh yeah. This is a man's world. Oh, it's a man's world. But it don't mean nothing. Not one little thing. Without a woman or a girl. I'm not superstitious about you, but I can't take no chance. You got this feeling, baby. You know that I'm in a trance. 'Cause your love is better than any love I know. It's like thunder, lightning. The way you love me is frightening.
And the second team to compete from Great Britain, Annabelle Mann and Jack Hammond sharing a hug centre ice at the conclusion of their rhythm dance. And this team has made such huge progression since last year when they competed in Varese, Italy, and now cementing themselves much more as junior established team.
Yeah, last year they looked junior, they looked new, right?
Yes.
And now they look established, absolutely. Better skating skills, working together a little bit better. All the elements are in just one element in the negative GUs, but the rest are positive.
And You know, for me, it's so interesting seeing a little bit of the backstory. Annabelle, she used to skate in a tiny ice rink in Gosport, and there was a Spanish representative in the women's event that skated in that same rink. And you just never know, whatever the facilities, far from the optimal facilities to start your career, but if the people are right around you, then it can start a trajectory of an international competitive career. Now they're working with great influences. Lloyd Jones at home, and Alan here, Abrete, working with them this year. As we look back, just a wee check in the rotation there on the Twizzles. And that's being reviewed as to how much of an impact on the level as we see some of their transitional content. Straight line lift. And Annabelle looking comfortably expressive in the air as they do their difficult exit.
They kept their distance extremely well. They didn't drift apart too much. They kept the unison. They kept their distance, their tracking.
Yeah, they just look just so much, you know, more well prepared,
More comfortable.
more comfortable. And this team, they're in a bit of a roller coaster coming now. They've just competed in a domestic event, an August qualifier in Sheffield, and then they'll compete here before then going to the Bolero Cup, which will be taking place in Sheffield again, and then they'll come back out for, I think, another Junior Grand Prix. So their schedule is intense and busy.
But that is great amount of experience they're gaining
Yes.
over the next few months.
And I know that they're really grateful to the people that help facilitate that and the families that support them in enjoying these international experiences.
Well, the Rhythm Dance score 48.25, and just pump thumb up. They're thrilled with that score.
10 points over last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the second team out, but they take over first place and should hold a pretty good place by the end of the this event. We'll see. Our next team represents Italy, Martina Lavazza and Rafael Raymond Meunier. Both are 18 years old. This is their second Junior Grand Prix season, Mark.
And they, on their Junior Grand Prix assignments last year, finishing in 10th and 11th place. So, of course, hoping to make more of a lasting impression towards the top 5 this year.
And you got me like, girl, what you want from me? And tried to buy your pretty heart, but the price too high. Baby, you got me like, oh, you love when I fall apart, so you can put me together and throw me against the wall. Baby, you got me like don't you stop loving me, don't quit loving me, just stop loving me. Oh, and babe, I'm fist fighting with fire just to get close to you. We burn something today, and I'll run for miles just to get a taste. Must be love on the brain. Na na na, come on. Na na na, come on. Na 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 na, come on. Na na na, come on, come on, come on. Na 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 na, come on. Na na na, come on. Na 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 na, come on.
Bye.
Italy's Martina Lavazza and Rafael Raymond Mounier skating a clean rhythm dance. And I find it so interesting, Ted, to just see the different approaches from the different teams. And with Martina and Rafael, you can certainly see the brilliant influence of their coaches, Brunel Bianchi and Walter Rizzo, who have that lineage of old school compulsory dancing. And you can see that very evidently in the proximity of their hold from the Westminster Waltz. And interesting also then to see how that waltz can then be followed up with, you know, Love on the Brain and Rihanna as the music backdrop for the later elements. Chance to look back now. Contemporary style movement to open the program. Here, the Westminster Waltz. The Westminster Waltz will be cut into 2 sections. And then within this, the first section is closing now. Start of the new section, there are 4 key points in each of those 2 sections, which will dictate the level that the teams get and therefore the tech element score that they achieve on those sections. Now, the Twizzlers, this probably the weakest element for the team. Just a little bit slow in rotation on the first, and then out of sync with one another on the second. But then they came back strongly with the non-touch, the midline step sequence, which looked to be the happiest place for the team, enjoying the interpretation of this part of the program. And teams don't want to skate apart more than 2 arms lengths, as we see a dynamic conclusion to the program for Martina and Rafael. They competed, incidentally, in the same Junior Grand Prix last year as Annabelle and Jack, who lead the field currently. They had a 45.1 last year, and they too looking like they're moving up in the scores, which you would expect, of course, for a team that's been training hard, working hard, and in an environment with other great teams, because, of course, they train with the team that were second last week, who were so wonderful in Shan, as we consider the future of Italian ice dance.
You know, the benefit of training with your competitors or seniors that are above you, not only you benefit from watching their skills develop, but you also benefit from the camaraderie and what happens off the ice and what you share, right? So there's a lot to be learned. It's not just on the ice. Skating by yourself anywhere, you can do it. It takes a special type of person to be at the highest level, but it's a little bit hard.
And one could suggest that at this earlier developmental stage, to have those influences and motivation, even if it just makes the run-throughs easier to consider, because it's so physically demanding. If you've got other teams competing and doing run-throughs regularly, then it's the motivation to push yourself to do that little bit extra also.
And the coaches create that environment. As we take a look at the technical panel for a second there, the coaches, you know, have all the athletes support by clapping for all the teams around having done their program. So there is a very positive environment, generally speaking, in those types of schools.
Yeah, and we see Brunel here, Walter Rizzo, her husband and coaching partner, they're now taking it in turns, because we'll see Zoe Bianchi and Daniel Basile, who were second last week, then they go out to compete next week in Bangkok. So the training centers will be a hotbed through the summer where they're all pushing each other and motivating each other, and then they disperse around the world through the season.
And for Brunhilde, we're giving a report on Vulture last week, and then we'll give a report to Vulture.
How much
exactly
comedy can he bring to the kiss and cry?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, he's pretty serious in the kiss and cry until the scores come up. Pretty serious guy, but you know, he's fun to be around, that's for sure. Well, there's the score, 50.54 for Martina and Rafael. That will put this team for the moment at least into first place.
Oh, good to see that support from the Italians to the Canadians. And you could see the connection between the teams, even in the warm-up, as we see the sibling pairing of Victoria and Andrei Karandiuk, a team that have been skating together for 10 years. Skating to the track Dark Eyes for their rhythm dance. A high 10 and a hug from Victoria and Andre Karandiuk, a team that, again, I can see the evident improvement that has been made over the past year. And interesting, as they look delighted with that performance, just to consider that how that piece of music, the oldest of the musics that we have heard in terms of its production, and yet the biggest crowd reaction, that could in part be because of the size of the Canadian team supporting them.
Close to the mics. Right?
Yeah, but also interesting that, you know, as there we see some of those responsible for the noise pollution in the venue. The great music choice, and Dark Eyes is a piece that's synonymous, I think, with Sacha Cohen from the 2006 Olympics, but it was a great backdrop for this team.
For sure, it builds energy throughout the program and sort of gets you going, gets you excited, and cautious, intense in the beginning, but much improved over last season.
Yeah,
still need more speed, of course, all the juniors do, but much improved.
Here, working through, this is the first section, so steps 1 to 12. And the key points here, this is a cross roll into the 3-turn, then the back edge for lady, and now we step into the next section, steps 13 to 22 of the Westminster Waltz. And again, the key points here, different for the man and women, obviously different steps in this section of the dance. So we see the entry into their puzzles. And thus far in the event, we haven't seen more than a level 2 in the Westminster Waltz. We haven't had, we have had a level 4 for both on the Twizzles yet, as the technical panel assess things here. Difficult entry into straight line lift. And Victoria and Andre have a level 3 with a good positive grade of execution there. This I thought was great because so evident. And what's important in this year's rhythm dance, that obviously the waltz must be performed and then another rhythm or style must be clearly showcased. Now, I don't know what Dark Eyes, the definition of this rhythm and style is, but certainly the stop within the non-touch step sequence looked perfectly appropriate to the music choice to me. Yeah.
And they look pretty happy with their performance in the kiss and cry now, waiting for the scores.
So they need 50.55 to go above the Italian team of Martina and Rafael.
Scores 50.85, and that'll put Victoria and Andre currently into first place. It's tight. But they're on top. Early on, that's the end of the first group. Group number 2 taking to the ice right now for their 5-minute warm-up. And difference between ice dance warm-ups 5 minutes and the other disciplines are 6 minutes. Why is that, Mark?
Well, I think this is a question that we've been posed before, and I think we need to find out the actual answer for that.
I think the dance community said we don't need 6 minutes.
Yes.
So I think that was the answer. I was just asking you because I thought you should know.
I thought you were
No.
you were inciting
No, I wasn't. It was not a trick question. It's a simple one.
Why is that? And why should the ice dancers have 1 minute left?
Just testing you. Do you have any questions from the viewers?
As yet, we don't have any that have come in. However, I will try to be a little bit more dual duty in checking what's coming in online. We did have some wonderful questions yesterday, and we appreciate all of those. Chance for us, though, in this warm-up just to look again through that Westminster Waltz here as we look at the first team, Laurence and EJ. They're a new team, and here, now stepping into step 13. That's the second section of the Westminster Waltz. Now, when the Westminster Waltz was performed independently as a compulsory dance or a pattern dance, the teams would have done at least 2 sequences, so they would have done a different number of repetitions of it. It's been kind of chopped up to work within the context of a rhythm dance.
And did you prefer in your day, what was it? Was it called the rhythm in those days, or was
so
it
actually,
original?
The season that I retired was the last year that I actually competed at the World Championships, whereby the compulsory dances were last done as an independent compulsory dance section.
Yeah.
So I did what was then a compulsory dance and then a short dance, and now it's become a kind of amalgamation of sorts this season because we have the rhythm dance comprising of a compulsory dance within it. It's interesting, actually. I think now the term compulsory dance is being reused. There was a period of time where the compulsory dance, which was the title given to the likes of this, the Westminster Waltz, for decades, and then it became a pattern dance, and I think compulsory is coming back.
So to my question, which one did you prefer doing? The compulsory free dance?
Oh, I think because I did so much single skate, so I was a free skater, jumper for the first 10 years of my skating life, and I think for many of the ice dancers who have started as single skaters, they're much more suited to the free dance because it's very nature free.
Makes sense.
What I enjoyed though in the short dance is what we're seeing now from the German team on ice now to do the non-touch step sequence, because for a single skater that felt liberating to be free again and out of hold. But that actually takes me to a point that we need to keep bringing back over the course of this Junior Grand Prix and this season, is that a big stipulation for this season's rhythm dance for the teams is in bold. You can see in my communication here, the rhythm dance should not be skated in the style of a free dance. And I think that's a little bit harder for people to see, especially this year without the pattern restrictions. But one of the big things that the teams must really try to showcase is hold. Now, obviously, in the non-touch step sequence, the element that I said I used to like the most, you're not going to touch, you're not going to be in hold. But ideally, the teams should really try to showcase through their transitional content hold, the conventional ballroom type holds, the foxtrot hold, what we call Killian hold, and the waltz hold. And that's much harder to skate in those holds because it's more uncomfortable. You've got somebody right in your space. It's harder to create the same level of speed and power. And it'll be just interesting to see who really picks up on that, and then also how much the judges reward that.
And certainly more risky because your blades are very close to each other. So the chances of a blade click and a trip are real.
It's really interesting because there was, within that kind of ice dance community, a lot of fans and former ice dancers were dismayed or confused when they watched ice dance over the course of the last Olympic cycle, how far apart teams were. Gorgeous Jane Torval, who I adore, she was obviously an Olympic champion, and she was of an era where hold was imperatively important, and they would be critiqued hugely if the teams were not in hold. And when she was watching ice dance, she was saying, oh, they don't skate in hold at all anymore. What is this? But that will be because the teams, a lot of their score was based on speed and power. And you can't create as much speed and power when you're in this kind of hold.
And how much of that would also be intentional in the fact that they wanted to see the strengths of the individuals? Like, I know it's the team. Well, because, one can be a weaker skater, one can be a stronger skater. So isn't the midline no touch to make sure that the teams are of equal quality and ability?
Yeah, of course, and to really showcase that.
That's the extent of my dance knowledge.
There you go. And it's on point, Mr. Barton.
Yeah, no, it is, because I remember when they brought that in. So
I think it's an interesting analogy because I know that a lot of people who are diehard fans of the sport in the singles discipline used to think, all these quadruple jumps that are coming in, they're ruining, the purity of the sport. It was the same in ice dance. Oh, there's no hold, it's ruining the essence of ice dance. But I think what we've got to understand is the teams and their coaching staff are trying to create as many points as possible.
Yeah.
So they're doing what the criteria facilitates in giving them the most points.
Okay, catch your breath.
Okay.
Here we go. Our first team in group number 2 represent Canada, Laurent Briere and Earl Jesse Celestino, 18 and 20 years of age. This is their first season together, so no international competitions on their bio at this moment. And they are coached by the Ice Dance Academy of Montreal.
Fascinating. These two skaters have competed against each other for years, now united together.
Give me your attention, baby. I gotta tell you a little something about yourself. You're wonderful, flawless, ooh, you a sexy lady. But you walk around here like you wanna be someone else. Ooh, oh, girl, I'm gonna show you when you're mine, oh, mine. Oh, oh. love you so. Hey, that's what you'll say. You'll tell me, baby, baby, please don't go away. But when I pray, I never stay. So every girl that I meet, yeah, this is what I say. See, I ain't tryna hurt you, baby. No, 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 I just wanna work you, baby. Yup, yup. See, I ain't tryna hurt you, baby. No, 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 I just wanna work you, baby. If you scared, you better run away, baby. Before I put my spell on you. You better get away, darling. 'Cause everything you heard is true. You're falling a hole, putting up alone. 'Cause Lord knows I'm a rolling stone. So you better run away, baby.
Canada's Laurence Brière and El Jesse Celestino, a team that got together in April.
Wow.
Amazing. It's such a new partnership.
And interesting, we talked about this in pairs. Some of the teams have been together for 3 months or 6 months. Which discipline is it more difficult to have a short period of time before you compete?
Ooh, I mean, I didn't compete pairs, so it's hard to say, but I know that for the ice dance teams, especially when we consider the history of the sport, you know, we looked at, you know, oh, that's so unfortunate that EJ just had that little fall at the beginning, a 1 point deduction for that. What a way to start the program. But this was much improved. You can see just the cleanliness of the extension from both. Lovely left leg, free leg extension. You know, ice dance teams, we've come accustomed to them having to be together for a decade or so before they have international success. But of course, the Olympic champions defied all of that this season.
Yeah, that was different.
Just here for Laurence and El Jesse, just the pattern you can see of their Westminster waltz, not quite as big a pattern as that of some of the other teams, but what effortless flexibility there from Laurence. Just satisfying the requirements of the level call, the difficult position in the straight line lift, and done with good GOE, good grade of execution there. Back inside counter, and then the opportunity to stop as is allowed within this non-touch, just to try to push up those component scores. And there, shout out to Benjamin Brizois. And you know, I don't know all these coaches well, but I know that I've heard testimonials from the likes of Ye Kwan of his appreciation for Benjamin Brizois.
Oh,
when you see,
he's a great guy. He's really really good. They're all terrific people.
Beloved though, for sure.
Well, let's take a look at the rhythm dance scores for Laurence and Jesse Celestino. 53.43. That'll put this team currently into first place. They look pretty happy with that. Our next team represents Germany. 17-year-old twins, Aniko and Zorat Kobar. This is their second Junior Grand Prix season. They were 21st at the Junior World Championships last year. They're coached by Stefano Caruso and choreographed by Robin Tweeddale.
And for this rhythm dance, they decided to go with Edith Piaf, something classical and timeless, the intention.
Cet air qui m'obsède jour et nuit, cet air n'est pas né d'aujourd'hui. Il vient d'aussi loin que je viens, traîné par 100 000 musiciens. Padam, 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 il arrive en courant derrière moi. Padam, 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 il me fait le coup du souviens-toi. Padam, 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 c'est un air qui me montre du doigt. Et je traîne après moi comme une drôle d'erreur, cet air qui sait tout par cœur. Écoutez le chahut qu'il me fait, comme si tout mon passé défilait. dire qu'il suffit parfois qu'il y ait un navire pour que tout se déchire quand le navire s'en va pour les reprendre après. Allez, venez, Milord, vous avez l'air d'un môme, laissez-vous faire, Milord. Venez dans mon royaume, je soigne les remords, je chante la romance, je chante les Milord qui n'ont pas eu de chance. Mais oui, dansez, Milord. Ta-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra, ta-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra.
Well, we've seen one sibling pairing already. This the second, Eniko Kobar and Zohar Kobar. The twins skating well in their Edith Piaf rhythm dance, supported well in and around the venue. Good reaction to the team as well, and the coaching staff suggesting that this choice was to just showcase difference. And they acknowledge actually that as a sibling pairing, the music choice is not limited, but considered perhaps with that view and that mindset.
To a degree, a little bit more important, perhaps. Yeah.
Yeah, and this a great choice for the team as we look back at the straight line left, and what interpretation there from Eniko. Good match in the team too. This was wonderfully phrased on the music. The change in phrasing at the start of the Twizzles, just really lovely. You can see the push for that creative execution, not just with the musicality, but then with the transitional content in the movement between the first and the second Twizzle, trying to do all they can to conclude that element with a good creative execution. And interestingly, that of all the teams thus far does have the highest GOE on that element. Maybe a little less matched and in unison throughout the non-touch step sequence than they were through the Twizzles. The program will continue to progress. An opportunity for us to shout out to their training mates, Alexia Kruk and Jan Eisenhaber. They've had a little bit of illness throughout the off-season. They were so brilliant last year, helping to create a top 10 place in the Junior World Championships for German ice dancers. Stefano Caruso, their coach, joins them in the kiss and cry, waiting their scores. And to the delight of Zohar, it's a 55.91.
Yeah, they're thrilled with that. Wow. Our next team represents the United States of America, Raleen Luukkonen and Patrick O'Brien, 13 and 14 years of age. This is their first Junior Grand Prix event. They're coached by Christian Fraser Luukkonen and Igor Luukkonen, parents of Raleen.
And this gorgeous video of them online from when they were 4 years old, first skating together.
Where have I been? How did we change? Caught in this strange new music. Say, was I away too long?
Just like that tune, simple and clear, I've come to hear new music. Why can't you hear the song?
His fingers stroke those keys, and every note says please, and every chord says turn my way. I thought I knew what love was.
We are gliding, gliding on the pond. Close your eyes, We are gliding, gliding far beyond. Close your eyes, close your eyes. Feel the wind as you pirouette. Are you happy yet? Are you happy yet? We are gliding, gliding far away. Pirouettes, figure eights, silver skates, just never
America's Rylan Luukkonen and Patrick O'Brien, and there's just so much to say about this team. I don't quite know where to start. As I mentioned, skating together since the age of 4 years old, and if you get the chance to see some of the footage of them in their earliest steps on the ice, it almost compels you to want to see them at the Olympics, to see that video trajectory.
It reminded me a little bit of Scott and Tessa when they started out so young. They're so well matched at this stage and early age. Great program, great music.
And we have to say that their choreographer of this program, Caitlin Weaver, is currently performing in a show in Japan right now, but tuning in mid-show to support the team. And how wonderful to have that level of support, and of course support from your parents as well, who act as coaches. And as we look through this great example here of the non-touch, the difficulty of not doing the same steps. This is the only team I think thus far that hasn't elected to do the exact same steps at the exact same time, just increasing that composition component. Chance now to look through the Westminster Waltz, lovely leg line there and matching. And working through the rocker counter section, difficult part of the dance. Twizzles. And I've mentioned Caitlin, but can only imagine what it's like for Kristen, who is mum to Rylan, standing ringside, and then what's worse, to be the parent, the coaching parent that's here on site, or to be Igor, father at home, probably feeling even less, in control of the situation.
Well, we asked her yesterday, and she said it's just pure agony. It was charming. I mean, there's lots of things to work on for all the teams for sure, but what a great start. The team has been together for so long. It's just natural for them. Really a super program. Let's take a look at the scores. For the rhythm dance, 48.81. That will put them currently into 5th place. Our next team represents Czechia. 20-year-old Diane Schneider and 19-year-old Jakým Novak. This is their second Junior Grand Prix season. They are the Czechia Junior Champions. Mark?
And Diane and Jakým celebrating their 2-year anniversary of partnering up together. This week is recognizing 2 years of teaming up, and it's been a successful 2 years that hopes to grow even more in this performance.
I know you've been hurt by someone else. I can tell by the way you carry yourself. But if you let me, here's what I'll do. I'll take care of you. I loved and lost
us what you've been through. And if you let me, here's what I'll do. Oh, I just got to take care of you.
Now when I was a little boy, at the age of 5, I had something in my pocket. I'm a man, still am. Hey,
Czechia's Diane Schneider and Achim Novak, a team that just showcased a mature senior approach, and indeed, incidentally, they have, although 2 years left to compete in juniors, it's possible they will also do seniors this year because they have the possibility to go to World University Games in China, which gives you an indication of what they are juggling with their busy schedules as students, as skaters as well.
Certainly an exciting time of life, no question. And just a short note here. After the scores and after the standings, we're going to throw to an interview that both Mark and I did with Piper Gillies from Canada. She's here as a team leader, so you won't want to miss that. It'll come up right after this group during the ice resurfacing. Go ahead, Mark.
Chance to look back at the performance of Diane and Hakeem. And Diane's been struggling a bit with a back injury, but working with a physio to push through, and I'm sure she's eager to say thanks to the physio for helping her to be able to skate as well as they have here. Just the break and rotation there on the twizzle, so struggling on the second twizzle. She drops a level. But here, this is so impressive. The choice of features the teams have, there are many easier features than that from Yahim in particular. The 1 foot feature done with such strength, and I think it's so incredibly difficult, especially with pressure and nerves as we look through. Changing hold within the Westminster wall, so that's allowed. The teams can deviate from the conventional holds, and they did a good job of that. As we see now, the non-touch. So look at this, outside closed mohawk. That's a potential difficult turn to increase the level of the step. Here's their optional stop within the non-touch step sequence to push the grades of execution. There's a bracket turn. And we move on now just to the closing section, for which they're giving as much dynamism and energy as they can to again push the components up as Matej Novak sits with them, their coach.
Rhythm dance scores for Diane and Hakeem.
Oh. Yeah. See what it means to them.
Yeah, exactly. Anxiously waiting for those numbers. And there's a 54.40. And that will put them currently in a second place. They were hoping for a little bit more, Mark.
The components were easily the best, but just levels weren't their friend. So no key points on the second section of the Westminster Waltz was problematic for them.
And as we get ready for the ice resurfacing, and we'll see the standing in just a moment, Mark, tell us what we're about to see.
Well, you can tune in first with the interview from the winners last week, Fepalova and Balov, and then to the interview that we conducted 2 days ago with Piper Gillis, the wonderful Canadian Olympic bronze medalist from this year's Olympics.
Absolutely charming. Hope you enjoy it. We'll be back right after this. Here with the dance champions, Zian, Maria Fetlova, and Artem Valov. Neutral athletes, what an incredible performance. Congratulations. One of the questions that Mark Handradi, my commentator colleague, wanted to know, who created the dance spin, was absolutely spectacular.
So create spin, we made it with our team. Actually, we saw like one rare skater. They doing this spin, so we learn it, and then we create a little bit our style kind of. So yes, our team was working with this.
To you, how do you feel? Are you happy with your performance?
Yes, I'm happy.
Yes, they're very happy. They were so excited to come here, and of course, it's amazing to be here. So they feel amazing. Wonderful. Yes.
Well, you're very special. No question. You gave a special moment to the audience here and to those online as well. Congratulations on the win. Looking forward to seeing you a little bit later in this season on the Junior Grand Prix. Congratulations. Maria Fetlova and Artem Valov, the champions here in Zion. Hello, everyone. Well, as promised, Piper Gillies is here in Riga, so it's so exciting. Mark, knock yourself out. Here we go.
I don't know where to start with a career like yours, Piper. Like, where do we go? I think the thing that I'm so compelled to ask about, at the Olympic Winter Games earlier this year, one of my favorite moments of the entire event was not just the great skate that you guys had in the free dance, but also the kiss and cry reaction. It makes me want to cry thinking about it now, so I can only imagine what it was like for you guys. Tell us a little bit about your Olympic experience this year.
Oh boy, I mean, again, I don't know where to start with that. I think the most important thing that I remember was that Paul and I were so present and prepared for that moment. I think other Olympic Games, like, again, you want to overskate things, but we just did exactly what we did at home, and that made it even more special because, like, we just showed up and did it, and it was the most peaceful competition I think I've had in years, which is so strange. I just remember kind of going blank and just being like, this is our moment. Like, I don't know why, but I guess that's why people say that it's an Olympic moment. You're going to remember it, and we did. We were so present. We were so there, and I think that's why the reaction was so, I guess, overcoming, is that, like, we were just so shocked that we just did it, and the weight of the world was just gone, and we just, like, lived in that moment.
You would think that would be your most nerve-wracking moment.
Totally, yeah. But I guess that's why, like, right place, right time, you know, you do the right preparation, you can just let your body skate.
I think it's the kind of performance and post-skate reaction that if anybody wants to feel good, just go on YouTube and check that out.
Yeah.
But we're here obviously at Junior Grand Prix. Now, the big skating geek in me remembers, I don't know if I should remind you of this, but a few years ago, I remember seeing you compete in Sheffield at the John Curry Junior Grand Prix.
Yeah.
I won't give the year. But anyway.
2007.
2007, okay. Even though you're obviously only 21 years old. But tell us a little bit about your junior experience and maybe how that paved the way for the amazing senior career that you had as well.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I loved, again, I skated a Cinderella, so I know exactly, you know, what programs that we did. Yeah, and actually, like, in that event, my partner and I had to switch programs because our full program wasn't working for us. So that was like the debut of a brand new program. So it's just, that prepares you for so many different parts of your career, having to kind of like change and adapt and explore new things. And I think being here at the junior, it just reminds you of how much you've had to overcome. And again, every time you put yourself out on the ice, you're learning something, you're gaining that experience. So seeing them here, I've met some of the ice dancers here. This is the first event. And I'm so excited just to see how they are prepared and how they can just like live in this moment. Like, well, juniors is a big deal.
Yeah. We can say also to you, Piper, that we've been in the venue for not long, and already some of the junior skaters are getting starry-eyed and peeking out that you're here. So your impact is a huge thing for them.
Thank you. I feel it, but I feel like I've been in their shoes, and I've watched some of my favorite skaters, and I've met them in person, so I understand the impact that this makes by being here.
Now, I want to ask you, because you're here as a team leader for Canada, how did that come about? And it's so wonderful that you're here leading the next generation of ice dancers in Canada. What's your experience like so far, and how did that happen?
Yeah, last year I think, Paul and I already had an idea that we were going to take a break. We needed the time to kind of figure out what's next for us, but we were both like, we would love to team lead. We would love to still be involved in the sport while we're trying to figure out what we're doing. So this kind of was a natural fit, and being able to be here, I just feel like
I've been ready for this moment. I've got all my care kit on all the things that I felt like I needed over the years. So it's been really fun, and I just really happy and excited to see them all have like their best performances.
Could you imagine what it's going to be like for a young Canadian skater to have Piper hand a tissue to them and be like,
I know.
what is
exactly.
going on here?
Yeah, exactly. Put their makeup on or whatever. Now, listen, before we came out here, you were carrying with you a big, huge bouquet of flowers. Where did that come from?
That came from Maya. She's a reporter backstage. So I think, again, we have so many relationships with people and we've made them over the years. So just being able to be back, she's from here. So it was like a nice little warm welcome and welcome to being, I guess, behind the scenes of the skating community.
We are so thrilled to have you here. I know Canada's lucky. I think all the skaters here in Riga are lucky and happy to have you in the venue here at a junior Grand Prix event. So thank you so much for your time. You're so brilliant both on the ice, bubbly personality, lots of energy, just a lovely person, a great addition to our skating family in Canada and of course around the world. Thank you, Piper, and good luck as you move on to the rest of your career.
Thank you.
Piper Gillis here in Riga. Welcome back, everyone, to Riga, Latvia. Day number 2, the rhythm dance is on the ice. Third group. Mark? Okay, Phil.
Open
Phil.
for discussion.
Yeah.
Again, really interested to hear the opinions and the thoughts of those that are watching and viewing. It's great to know that whilst listening to this broadcast, we had at least 2 former world medalists. In fact, world medalists that have shared world championship podiums before. Anna Capellini, Italian world champion, and Caitlin Weaver from Canada, world medalists, were listening in on the broadcast and encouraging the next generation of skaters. And of course, we know Piper Gillis is in the venue too. So the support from illustrious members of the alumni to this next generation evident.
It's a really good point, and I know, Mark, you've reached out this year, and we did last year, to skaters that are on the world scene that competed at the Olympic Games or the World Championships, or a very long and successful careers in figure skating, and they have more than been generous with their time to join this broadcast for an interview to help inspire the next generation. They remember what it was like to be a junior. They know now what they didn't know then. And they're willing to share that information to the juniors, and we really thank them for that. We have a number of people coming up, so throughout this series, till Gdansk, the end of the Junior Grand Prix series, we will be interviewing more people around the world, senior skaters.
And actually,
and it's fun, and I know you love doing it.
No, it's just wonderful to hear from, as I'm sure is the case for the athletes on screen now. We all love the sports. We've all followed the lives and careers of many, and it's great to then get that honest reaction. It'd be interesting, actually. I'm, as I mentioned yesterday, reluctant to name drop the people that we are going to touch base with, but it would be wonderful perhaps if we have that confirmation of times and schedules solidified, then we could do a call to action for questions to those stars. But rest assured, we have lots of other world medalists and skating stars to connect with soon.
It is a very busy time. We did our stand-ups this morning, and then we've done the 2 interviews. So, in the perfect world, we would have ample time to be able to do the interviews, secure it, process it, and then promote it. But we'll do the best we can with what we've got.
Indeed. And in this group, we're seeing one team in particular looking incredibly strong. Looking forward to seeing how the teams interpret this season's rhythm dance requirements. So just to confirm, apologies for those that have been with us from the start. They've heard me say this multiple times, but at this early point in the season, it's important for us just to acknowledge the criteria assigned by the International Skating Union and the Ice Dance Technical Committees. The theme and the music for the juniors this season is rhythm and waltz. So any style of waltz is allowed, from traditional forms to the modern interpretations that we have already seen today and last week in Shan City. And then at least one additional rhythm, tempo, and dance style must be included to support the chosen concept or theme. So we've seen a host. We've seen ragtime from Broadway musicals. We've seen Dark Eyes from folk music. A whole plethora of different examples already, only serving to corroborate what we saw last week at the Junior Grand Prix in Shan, where there were lots of different interpretations from that criteria.
So you've been walking the fence for the last couple of days.
As always.
A specific question. Do you prefer this, as opposed to more structured or traditional Westminster waltz, or do you like this idea that...
Oh, no, I think this is great. I know that one of the reasons perhaps that ice dance has been molded and shaped over the course of the past 20 years. Mm-hmm. So until 2010, the Westminster waltz, as we see now, performed very well, was done in isolation as a compulsory dance section. And that could get incredibly tedious for a viewership and an audience, because unless you're a die-hard fan that knows the dance and knows the sport, seeing the same, hearing the same 6 pieces of music on repeat, seeing the same steps done on repeat with the same stylization would be a hard 2-hour watch. Now we're getting a cavalcade of different entertaining stylizations, and I think from a viewer perspective that will be more entertaining, and we have to think beyond the ice dance community, the die-hard fans. We have to think about accruing and enticing more people to watch the sport, and I think this is a much better way of enticing people than having same 6 tracks and same conventional, I love classical ballroom waltz, that's great, but to see that on repeat endlessly wouldn't be perhaps as
No,
entertaining.
Absolutely. We did broadcast during the Olympic Games in 2010 to the audience itself, and people were always wondering why they keep going around the same circle and with the same music.
Yeah.
So, you're absolutely right. Our first team represents Spain. Carlota Garcia Barranco and Alexander Ostrovsky, 15 and 19 years old, new to the Junior Grand Prix Series this season. Not much international experience, Mark.
Yes, this isn't just first competition in ice dance for Carlota, but is the first competition for this team at all. So wishing them such good positive energy as they prepare to compete in their first competition.
Well, since my baby left me, well, I found a new place to dwell. It's down at the end of Lonely Street, Heartbreak Hotel. Oh, it's always closed. The desk clerk's dressed in black. Well, they've been so long on the street. Never look back and think it's so lonely, baby. Well, they're so lonely. Well, they're so lonely, they could die. There must be lights burning brighter somewhere. Got to be birds flying higher in the sky more blue. If I can dream of a warmer sun where hope keeps shining on everyone, tell me why. Oh, why? Oh, I want that sun up here. It's a one for the money, two for the show. You get ready now, go, can't go, but don't you step on my blue suede shoes. All right. Well, you can do anything but stay over my blue suede shoes. You can knock me down, step in my face, slander my name all over the place. Well, do anything that you want to do. But honey, lay off them shoes, don't you step on my blue suede shoes. Real big shoe.
Well, what a way to perform in your first ever competition representing Spain at the Junior Grand Prix. Carlota Garcia Barranco and Alexander Ostrovsky. And a testament, a little anecdote to give you an indication as to their excitement to be here. They shared the bus journey from the airport to the hotel at the same time as myself. And their coach, Sara Hurtado, said, you know, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning when they were getting in, and they had an early practice the next day. And Sara said, you know, we don't have to do this practice because you'll have had such limited sleep. And the skaters didn't want to consider missing anything.
Yeah.
Here to relish every moment. And so how wonderful to see that. And
That's the enthusiasm of juniors. It really is. So important.
And interesting for Carlota, she relocated from Spain, born in Madrid, moved I think to Italy to train as a single skater, but now back in Spain now as an ice dancer. And how great that as we look at these twizzles, she has a great skating school with Sara Hurtado, Zenio Monco and Kirill Kalyavan in Spain as they develop this discipline in that nation. Here actually did really well on that key point. The inside mohawk and the left back outside edge, both getting that key point. Kudos to the team. And chance to look back at the pretty good back inside counter and their twizzle within the step sequence. And you sense that. Maybe it's because I know the story, but you do sense a joy to be here and a joy to be representing. And perhaps, you know, considering both different nations, both different journeys, I know that Alexander was also a single skater until 6 years ago. And so, you know, many convoluted, deviating journey off the conventional path. And now, united together with their coach, Sarah.
And so interesting to hear from some of the skaters who converted from single skaters most of their life into ice dance. Said, "Wow, I didn't realize it could be so much fun." You know, working with someone else.
And again, you know, in terms of the discussion of rhythm waltz, Elvis Presley, who knew Elvis Presley could be the backdrop for a Westminster waltz and a rhythm and dance, and the
your brain automatically goes, "Well, that won't work."
Yeah, and it did. And of course, you know, for this team, that lots of development to be done, but Coach Sarah just explaining that just getting them ready to compete at all was the objective, and now from this a stepping stone, a building block.
Just gain the experience. Let's see the rhythm dance scores for Carlotta and Alexander. It is a 45.91, and that will put them currently in 8th place. Our next team represents France. Dania Moeden and Theo Bijot, 16 and 17 years old. Great season last year, winning 2 silver medals on the Junior Grand Prix and qualifying for the Junior Grand Prix final in Nagoya. They have to be considered one of the favorites here in Riga.
Absolutely, and they, like others before them, skating to Edith Piaf for their rhythm dance.
Allez, venez, Milord, vous asseoir à ma table. Il fait si froid dehors. Ici c'est confortable, laissez-vous faire, Milord. Et prenez bien vos aises, vos peines sur mon cœur. Et vos pieds sur le jet, je vous connais, Milord. Vous ne m'avez jamais vu. Je ne suis qu'une fille du port, une ombre de la rue. Souriez-moi. Voilà. Allez, venez, Milord.
Je revois la ville en fête et en délire, suffocant sous le soleil et sous la joie. Et j'entends dans la musique les cris, les rires qui éclatent et rebondissent autour de moi. Et perdu parmi ces gens qui me bousculent, étourdi, désemparé, je reste là. Quand soudain je me retourne, il se recule et la foule vient me jeter entre ses bras. Entraîné par la foule qui s'élance et qui danse une folle farandole, nos deux mains restent soudées et parfois soulevés, nos deux corps enlacés s'envolent et retombent tous deux épanouis, enivrés et heureux.
Francis, Daniel Moadin, and Theo Bijot complete their rhythm dance, the favourites in this competition, and you can see immediately the impact that this partnership has in terms of the breadth of experience. This is another team that have been together for a considerable number of years. And the Twizzles that I remember seeing when we first saw them on the Junior Grand Prix, so lightning fast, an amazing highlight to the program. Interestingly, they have significantly higher component scores than anybody that we have seen thus far, but the technical panel not necessarily delighted or overjoyed with some of the Westminster Waltz key points, so that'll be a good feedback for this team as they move towards the later part of the season. Here you can see the speed, so exciting and exhilarating to watch as they use the third Twizzle as their Group C feature for a comfortable level 4 for both. And here that's left-hand side walk. This edge is a part of that key point. I can see maybe it's not as deep or clean as others that we've seen. This cross roll and the 3-turn and that back edge. All of these steps that you're looking at, the rocker counter and this edge now, have to be so beautifully deep and clean and clear for the tech panel to comfortably give them the points. As we see the difficult entry into the rotational lift, the position that we saw. I think they used that as a stationary position last year. It's a beautiful line from Dania. Now the difficult exit. Dania and Theo will be looking at scores to top the whole world really this year as they want to move towards a World Junior Championship podium. Last week's leading rhythm dance score was 63.1 from Maria and Artem.
And this is a 64.41 as Dania and Theo take the lead.
600ths above what they achieved here a year ago.
Good start to the season. Our next team represents Armenia, Kristina Dobrasudova and Yaroslav Nochev.
Kristina has had lots of senior experience. She did the Olympic qualifier last season in the senior ranks, coming back to compete in this new partnership as a junior, and they looked strong and impressive during the 5-minute warm-up.
Even in the moment with tears in your eyes, I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. When you told me softly you don't think that I'm right, it's so sad to see what we've become. And we'll try, even if it all goes wrong. I'm selfish and I'm stubborn and I'm broken, I'm a man, but you knew me all along. I can't be what you want me to be, 'cause I'm always just thinking of me. I will change if you wait for me, please. I don't want you to walk out on me. I know you're torn up and broken inside. I should have listened and buried my pride. I don't want to hurt you, I won't live a lie. I can't be what you want me to be, 'cause I'm always just thinking of me. I will change if you wait for me, please.
Let's walk this one.
Armenia's Kristina Dobroserdova and Yaroslav Aneshev. And this team, Ted, you can see the senior quality, as I mentioned before they started. Quality skaters, and it was evident in the warm-up immediately this would be a strong team in the group. I am just struggling to kind of pinpoint the change of theme and tempo and rhythm and dance style, because it had, to me, it was beautiful and it was lovely music, but it was kind of contemporary lyrical throughout. So I'm not sure if the judges will react to that in terms of the music choice and the style choice, but there's no doubting the class and the elegance. Christina in particular, just beautiful line as we saw that little loop jump into the twizzles. Lovely line, and the right back outside edge. Only one step can be done at most between the first and the second, and again, beautifully pointed toes and the extension within the anti-clockwise rotating twizzle. Rocker counter. Actually, both of them given that step, which is difficult to achieve in the Westminster Waltz from the technical panel, assessing the levels of this. And here, Yaroslav being successful within this element, the step sequence. So his turns, if we look at some of his turns within the context of this choreography, they will have been deemed callably clean. There's a back choctaw, a good edge set there as we see them heading into the rotational lift to finish the program. It's interesting, I thought the skating skills just coming in the low fives from the judges. I thought the skating skills would have been higher, but the composition hasn't been particularly favorably received, so I thought they would have higher PCS.
That was very interesting listening to the technical panel. They're talking about, they had a bit of a debate, but they're like, no, this is the same as the team before. So they're keeping it consistent throughout the event. That was well done. 50.71 for this team, and that will put them currently into 6th place. Did I get that right? Or was that a...
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think so.
Lots going on. Okay. Our next team represents Finland, Iris Lahti and Askari Liidopudja. 16 and 20 years old, second junior Grand Prix season with 11th place finish 1 year ago right here in Riga.
And Iris and Askari have a major goal this season of the Junior World Championship qualification in Sofia, Bulgaria. So they'll be looking for strong technical score through this rhythm dance to help that be achievable. Iris Lati and Oskari Lidenpoha complete their La La Land. And it's a team that spent the summer weeks training in Andorra for the season. They won the Finnish test skates, and just a addendum to what I was saying before they started this rhythm dance, they actually have already achieved the Junior World's minimum technical element score. Their objective in telling me that their aspiration is to be there.
They get
is to
selected.
be selected, yes.
Okay.
Indeed.
Don't beat yourself up.
I was very frustrated that I had overseen the fact that they've already achieved that Junior World's minimum tech score. And for me watching this, I was almost questioning, is this the team that I remember from last season? Because this seems significantly better, and I think Oskari in particular was mindful of the progression that he has made since we saw him last year in Riga. As we look back at the drizzles, a little break in the rotation there, and that perhaps the reason why Oskari dropped to level 3 on that element. Here, this Mohawk and this back outside edge, the first 2 key points, and here this is a cross roll 3-turn for the women's steps. That another of the key points, and they had a level 2 in the first, and no key points achieved on the second section of the Westminster Waltz. And just as we keep referencing those key points, it's just because the implications are higher tech score.
And they're really the hardest thing for a viewer to see that doesn't know much about skating. Even the skating knowledgeable people, it's hard to really pick.
Yeah. Interesting, Ted, just here on the feedback that we have from the judges and the technical panel and the referee is that there's been a music tempo deduction. So Neil Brown joining them in the kiss and cry, that perhaps there's different reasons why that could be. Perhaps the tempo not sufficient for the Westminster Waltz.
And I asked that question earlier because we haven't had that so far. And how do they tell? And, wow, interesting. We'll dig into that. Let's take a look at the rhythm dance scores for Iris and Oskari, 49.66. That will put this team currently into 8th place after group number 3. As we get introduced to the final group, 5 teams on the ice. There's a look at the start list for the final group. What do you got, Mark?
Well, just in terms of the deductions, so there's deduction charts that the judges and the referee have, and there are so many. It really is an opportunity for anybody that loves to study. The sport of ice dance gives you an abundance, an army of different things that you can delve into. One of the, in terms of music violation, one of the important things just to acknowledge is that there must be a constant tempo, and they must have 162 beats per minute for the music selected for the Westminster Waltz. So that just may be the reason and rationale behind the deduction there for the Finnish team of Iris and Oskari.
And so is the referee, how are they actually measuring that? Is it a subjective decision?
So and this I'll get clarification.
I think it's a good question.
No, really good question. It's a very good question. I'll get clarification. The last I heard, and just need to double check, but the last I heard, I've no referees or judges that will use an app on their phone to check that it does satisfy the requirements, and so that can be, oh gosh, it gets close out there. That could be one of the reasons and the rationale. What I would also suggest, though, is that for many of the judges, and for myself included, I competed with the Westminster Waltz as a compulsory dance, and many of the judges, I would imagine, will have done that themselves too. We kind of know a Westminster Waltz. You kind of have it embedded in your body. I mean, I remember competing it and being horribly out of time, but you do know the kind of tempo, so it would probably not be a question or a consideration until you're conscious of it watching, if that makes sense. And that's why the judges are the judges, because they will be the people that have been living and breathing
but
this.
It's not timed by a clock. Like my question is, a human being takes the decision based on the information they have, the rhythm and the rules and whatnot, to say, no, that's not matching.
The criteria in
the
terms
criteria.
of well, and now for so many of the skaters now, they'll be editing on programs that will tell them. So it's a bit of an oversight to get it wrong.
That's them editing. What about the referee taking the decision? It is not by a machine that takes that decision. It's by
I would say that they'll be using an app because I know that many of them will use an app.
Okay, good.
But that's not an ISU definition as far as I know.
Oh, okay. Well,
But
the
it's
mystery
such a
is
good
still there.
question
Yeah.
that it prompts me to want to ask.
Oh,
we
we will?
have about 10 more hours of coverage to do before I can get to ask everybody, but I'll try and do so.
Yeah.
We have had some further questions coming in, and I love a question. I love a question like that, Ted, whereby it makes me want to go and suss out and hunt down the answer.
The poor person.
The question coming in, what type of turn was hardest for you, and what types of turns options do dancers tend to avoid? So different people have
question.
different preferences with regards to the turns that they pick, and that's what's always interesting. But you might hear me in commentary acknowledge when I see a skater choose maybe a back outside bracket, because commonly the skaters will choose to use maybe the same entry, edge and direction. What you do see in the junior ranks and in the less established or experienced teams, they will tend to use, I think, an inside edge, entry edge for a lot of the turns, because it's easier to press an inside edge than it is an outside. And what's fun to see is then when you watch the seniors, you start to see them choose different types of turns to get their levels, and that's when you'll see your more unique choices. For me, I think generally the most skaters will agree that doing a clean bracket turn is the hardest to be called. And I think also for the dancers, not the single skaters, but for dancers, forward outside mohawk is a callable turn, and that can be really difficult to have as a callable turn from the panel. But what you'll find is that the teams choreograph their turns that are sketchy in places away from the panel. So you might quite often see a bracket being done away from the tech panel. And sometimes I know that there are senior world championship medalists who quite evidently use tricks to make their turn hard not to call, because the panel have to go in favor of the skater, and if it's difficult to see, or perhaps sometimes the hold, not in the rhythm dance is a non-touch step sequence, but in the free dance within the step sequence style B, where they have to be in hold, the hold will facilitate the clean turn, because the one partner can absolutely lean on the other partner to make their edge deeper. So there are ways and means of getting the level you want.
Well, you really think you can hide that stuff?
I think they can. Well, I think the hold can make
They
them.
make it slightly more difficult, but it's not invisible.
I've seen examples whereby the hold makes the turn callable, but if the hold wasn't there, the skater couldn't do it on their
Yeah,
own.
okay,
So that's
yeah.
a little bit rule bending.
Okay, there you go. All the inside secrets Mark has now.
And so the third brother and sister pairing in this competition, Bronya Katarina Salenbausch and Paibun Herman Salenbausch, a team of 15 and 16 years of age, and they have elected in this, their rhythm dance, to use the concept of romantic vampires, a gothic, dramatic theme, and they describe it as having a wink of irony. So I look forward to seeing the interpretation for this team in their first junior competition.
Everything I know is the melodies and symphonies. Everything I know is a life without light. There's a longing inside my soul. And in the deepest void where time is but a scenery, I'll be waiting for you. Darling, look into my eyes and tell me what's inside. Truth be told, baby, you don't know what it's like to leave it all behind. Take a step into the night. Hear the voices singing, dancing gracefully to the beat of your heart. Until into my eyes and tell me what's inside. Truth be told, my dear, you don't know what it's like. Take a step into the night, hear the voices singing. I'll be waiting here till the end of all day. My nocturnal serenade.
Warunia Katarina Salenbausch and Paibon Hermann Salenbausch here competing as 4-time novice champions in their first junior event. And you can see, obviously a young team, but what a wonderful experience for them to have the support there from their teammates.
Graduating from novice to junior, such a wonderful experience no matter what the result. It's not about that. It's getting the bigger ice, not really bigger ice, but, more prestigious competition. That was great. That's, a fun approach to this piece of music.
Yeah, and as we were mentioning off air, they kind of got in there first before Olivia Smart and Tim Deek, the top senior team at the World Championships, who will be using the same piece of music as well for the Ramalama. Unfortunate for Paibun just to have this fall on the second tussle, right forward outside edge. Just struggling to make it through. Doing well to get back up and finish with the Group C. Some good stylization and interpretation here. Obviously been working hard on some of the hand and arm movements to punctuate the choreography of this non-touch. And this was great. Position of the rotational lift. And they have the greatest creative execution. That the element with a positive GOE for this team. Skating skills, of course, still to be developed, and the use of their knees, ankles, and edges will be a focus for the team, but looks like it's altogether a very positive experience.
Well, let's take a look at the rhythm dance score for this team, 38.38. That will put them currently into 12th place.
And now to the next team, Lilia Latenko and Alexander Rezhenkov, 16 and 19 years of age, and a team that just got together 6 months ago. And costume depicting the obvious characters, Mary Poppins.
In every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. You find the fun, and snap! The job's a game. And every task you undertake becomes a piece of cake, a lark, a spree. It's very clear to see that a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, the medicine go down, medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in a most delightful way.
When you send it flying up there, all at once you're lighter than air to the string of your kite.
stepping time. Come on, mighty stepping time. Stepping time. Stepping time, stepping time, stepping time, stepping time. Never your reason, never your rhyme, stepping time, stepping time. Get your knees up. Get your knees up, stepping time. Get your knees up, stepping time. Never your reason, never your rhyme. Get your knees up, stepping time.
Lilia Letenko and Alexander Ryzhenkov representing Israel, and this team, despite the fact they've been together such a short period of time, really impressing on their debut at the Junior Grand Prix, and obviously also showcasing progression since their first competition, which took place in Lake Placid earlier in the summer, and proving also that the combination of two strong skaters, despite the limited time together as a partnership, will have positive outcomes. And also, I think we've referenced obviously the differences in the music choice. The Mary Poppins soundtrack just really showcases a great thematic choice, but within that theme, they've got very different styles, the waltz and then the upbeat sort of quick steppy vibes.
So the only way a viewer can sort of pick the Westminster Waltz is by physically what they're doing, not by music really, unless you're a good...
Unless you're
yeah,
musically au fait
exactly.
and can count. Here, working through the non-touch, you can just see the run of the blade. This team new to each other as a partnership, but they've got good quality skating skill and flow as we look through the Westminster Waltz. So just longer extensions of the free leg and therefore longer push than some of the other teams that we've seen more recently. Nice clean hold. The right hand very well positioned at the back in the waltz hold.
Boy, that was complicated.
Difficult.
Entry to the lift, yeah, difficult.
And for Lilia and Alexander, like many of the teams, their coach doubles up as a qualified technical specialist. And Galicia Morachi, she actually was assigned to be on the Junior Grand Prix as a tech spec, not assuming this team would be able to compete on the Junior Grand Prix, but they've got together so quickly that now she cannot take her assignment because she has a team competing in the series.
Certainly knows her stuff. There's no question about that. 54.44 for this team, and that will put them currently into third place.
And now another team representing the United States of America, Aneta Vaklavikova and William Lisar. Couldn't compete last season because they were waiting on clearance to be able to represent America, and a team with a lot of potential skating to the Great Gatsby.
I've seen the world, done it all, had my cake now. Diamonds brilliant and brilliant now. Hot summer nights, mid-July, when you and I were forever wild. The crazy days, city lights, the way you
America's Aneta Baklavikova and William Lisar. And again, another relatively new pairing, but a lot of history already. Just 16 and 19, and some of you may remember Aneta having previously competed. She's part of a figure skating family with lots of representation. Her brother Tadeusz for Czechia, and Lucas for Slovakia, and now her representing America, and that just affirming that you go where the opportunities present themselves. And this new partnership is great that she's found a partner in William, and a great partner. He has a fascinating story as well. He competed in synchro with the synchroettes until 12 years old, and he also competed in shadow dance with his sister. So that's a lesser known skating discipline that's not competed around the world, but certainly two skaters have committed their lives to the sport and found a partner worthy of one another. As we look back at their Westminster waltz, you could just see the neck alignment from Aneta and the way in which she holds her body. Class and elegance.
Really good flow, speed.
And there, the rocker counter combo. Good spotting and checking from William. You can see him working hard to make sure that they're in sync for the grade of execution of this element, the twizzles. There's a lot of ice coverage on that element too to help boost the grade of execution. And they working with Melissa and Dennis, Gregory and Pichikov, former Olympians from America, who are producing a plethora of talented teams with the coaches that they have as well. Of course, Hanna Maria Aboyan and Daniela Veselukin, the world junior champions. So an incredible environment from which to train in and be inspired by, not just the coaches, but the skaters as well, as the coach influence on the kiss and cry interpretation is evident too.
Let's take a look at the score. This should be a pretty good score. Top three. Yes, it is. 62.73. That'll put Netta and William currently in the second place. And they look thrilled with that.
And now the penultimate team competing in this rhythm dance, the Ukrainians Tatiana Bielodonova and Ivan Kachur. Spent a month and a half in Germany with excellent facilities there to be able to prepare sufficiently for this, their Junior Grand Prix assignment. Skating to Love Story and Alors on danse.
L'âme en peine, il vit mais par la peine. Il attend devant cette photo d'antan. Il n'est pas fou, il y croit c'est tout. Il la voit partout, il attend debout. Une rose à la main, non, non plus rien ne le retient. C'est ta love story. C'est ta love story. C'est l'histoire d'une vie. Love story. Des cris de joie, quelques larmes, on s'en va. On vit dans cette love story. Love story. Love story.
Alors, qui dit proche te dit deuil, car les problèmes ne viennent pas seuls. Qui dit crise te dit monde, et dit famille dit tiers-monde. Et qui dit fatigue dit réveil, encore sur de la veille. Alors on sort pour oublier tous les problèmes. Alors on danse. Alors on danse. Alors
Ukraine's Tatiana Beladonova and Ivan Couture, the second Ukrainian team that we have seen competing at this event, and that based on the success of the Ukrainian junior dancers at the Junior World Championships in Tallinn, Estonia earlier this year. And this team, 12th at the World Juniors themselves, so aspiring to push towards a top 10 as they proudly represent their home country. Indeed, Tatiana and Ivan, they have a fundraiser online to help them to be able to compete at these kind of events and to be able to train properly. They explained that it's really challenging for them to be able to train. They primarily train in their hometown of Odessa, but often unable to be able to continue their training there. So proud to be able to compete here. Just for Tatiana and Ivan, as we look back at the Twizzles, that was great for the team. Level 4, the maximum level attained possible with a positive grade of execution. But for them in the Westminster Waltz, in regards to the key points that we've referenced, which can help them, there are issues with the timing. So the technical panel deemed that their 6-beat edge, or part of the Mohawk, wasn't in time sufficiently for them to call it. So they get the feedback there that their edges were good, but just that they spent either too long or too short a time on the edge to get it called. So what shows up on their score sheet is a T marking to suggest the timing was incorrect, which is kind of, it's better than an N, which is a flat out no.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Again, you can see the lack of pattern restrictions this season, covering the ice in a way that wasn't previously expected in the rhythm dance as they work through the rotational lift to conclude the program. Great. Joyful face. And they have Maria Tymanovska-Chaika as one of their coaches.
50.75 for Tatiana and Ivan. That'll put them currently into 8th place.
Well, the final team competing, hopefully see them on screen now, Louise Claes-Bourget and Daniela Agrishin. And they share the same coaching staff as the current leaders, Moaden and Bijot, from the same nation. Their theme choice, the Adams family, for their rhythm dance.
When the sun goes down and the moon comes up, turn into a teenage good luck. Yeah, I cruise through the city and I roam the streets, looking for something that is nice to eat. You better duck when I show up.
The final team, Louise Coas-Bourget and Danielle Grishin, concluding the rhythm dance, and a solid skate for this team, showcasing the depth and strength of French ice dance. Of course, the Olympic champions coming from the same nation, but what's interesting to acknowledge is that in the list, as we see their training mates and the leaders in the competition, Dania and Theo, in the audience to support, is that the entry list for this event had 12 substitute French ice dance teams, only showcasing how deep the field is in France and how many competitors there are. That was a monumentous number, and how great to see Louise and Danielle making the cut to be the representatives here alongside their training mates. Here the Westminster Waltz first section, and this the beginning of the second section. Yeah, rocker and counter, so it's a rocker turn for the woman and a counter turn for the man. Twizzles. You can see the influence of the coach because stylistically it's very similar movement to Dania and Theo, and the coaches in the back of shot delightedly watching and supporting. Now here, just look out for who has the most constancy and depth and clarity of edge on the difficult turns. So they intersperse the difficult turns with some transitional choreographic concept to push other factors of their score, but it is the likes of this back inside counter which has an impact on the technical score. I love the gesture of his hands.
Nice, yeah.
And coach and shot, you can just see the coach checking the level. So left-hand corner of the screen, the coach is getting the live updates from what's happening from the technical panel. We can listen in to them as they review.
They're going to need a 55.92 to move into the top three. It's going to be pretty close. Let's take a look at the rhythm dance score. It's a 55.86, so that's just going to drop them just below third place after the rhythm dance. But
Top
it's tight.
group though. Top group for the free dance.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a good day for Barbara Piton, the coach of first and fourth place in this event after the first portion of the competition.
There's a look at the standings after the rhythm dance. Dania and Theo, Netta William, Nico and Zarad, top three teams. Take a look at the rest of the field. That concludes our coverage of the rhythm dance. Up next will be the pairs free program, the first final of this event.
Yeah, medals to be decided
tonight.
And potential Grand Prix final places to be secured.
Absolutely. We'll hope you stay with us. In about 30 minutes, we'll take to the ice with the pairs free program.